I'm here to say one more thing.
Oh, goody.
I just had to drag my AC out of my car to my apartment building. 3 guys passed me. None of them offered to help.
Why should they? Women are strong and independent. They can do everything on their own.
None.
But I was struggling to bring my TV, fit it into my car. It was in a big box. It's a 55-inch. It could barely fit into this car. I'm sitting out here struggling to get this in my car. Men are walking back and forth. No one is trying to help me.
You see, there's a reason for that. Decades ago, you wouldn't have needed help. The men would have done it for you. The thing is, the world has changed. Women have changed. Now, see, something I tend to do a lot. I tend to imagine, what if I was a man? What would I be doing today? Would I help women? Truthfully, when I think about it, no, absolutely not. Even if my instinct as a man is leaning toward chivalry, I'm not going to help. There's a number of reasons for that. A lot of times, when men are doing nothing wrong, they end up on the internet because the wind blew something into their eye and they might have winked and someone filmed it, and then you end up on TikTok as some kind of perv because you were winking at a woman. And what if she was 17 years old and you helped her? And then you end up on the internet as some kind of creep pursuing young girls. It's just too dangerous. There are cameras out here. People are filming things with duplicitous intent. You don't know when you're going to be the next viral sensation. You don't know when you're the next guy getting your life ruined. You don't know when a woman is going to lash out at you because you might be helping her and she takes offense in that. If I was a man, I would not deal with this. Why would any man in his right mind help a modern woman? They're strong, they're aggressive, they call themselves equal, they say they can do anything that a man can do. Why do you need a man's help? Just do it. Get your girls. Women want men to be old-fashioned, but women don't want to be old-fashioned. They just want the best parts of what men can offer without giving the best parts of themselves.
It took an older man to come and see me struggling. He came out and helped me take the TV out of the box. They don't make real men anymore. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not all men, because there are good men out there, but it's such a rare thing. It took an older man to do that.
Of course it took a 70 or 80-year-old man, because he's not on social media. He doesn't see what's going on out here. He's from a different generation where women were actually beautiful. And he still believes that women are beautiful. I used to believe women were beautiful, but not anymore. Because I'm here on social media. I see what's happening on the streets. I see what's happening to men when they try to be chivalrous and kind. Sometimes it's appreciated. Oftentimes it's not. So a man has to ask himself in that moment, which risk does he want to take? Will this be a good outcome or will this be a negative outcome? A man doesn't know, so he backs away. You can't blame them for that.
We got to go back to the drawing board.
Yes, we do need to go back to the drawing board, but not in regard to men. In regard to women. Women need to go back to the drawing board. Do you realize you do need help with things, don't you? You do want them to do things, don't you? Why are they not doing it? Is it because maybe you're not doing something? Or it could be because you are doing something. You're doing too much. You're going against the very thing that you actually want. Women today primarily offer men frustration and even agony. So instead of coming online and giving a whole lecture on what men need to be doing, maybe you should go online and talk to women about what we should be doing. Because I don't hear any of that.
As a woman, you don't see men holding doors anymore. They don't help anymore.
That's right. Again, if I was a man, why would I hold a door? So a woman can curse me out, yell at me, tell me she doesn't need my help? This is what men are actually experiencing. The issue with women is they refuse to look at themselves ever. They see men changing toward us without realizing that we're causing the change that we're complaining about. And even as a woman myself, it does impact me. Men are not as chivalrous to me anymore. But the thing is, men don't know the difference. They don't know which woman is safe and which woman is not. We're not walking around with t-shirts that say, hey, I'm safe, I'm old school. Men don't know the difference, so they have to beware of all of us. They have to treat all of us as if we're raging radical feminists, because how can men tell the difference? It's not safe out there for them. So any complaints that you have, take it up with the girlies.
Folks, have you ever noticed how not too long ago, if a woman's car broke down or she needed help carrying something heavy, men would rush over without thinking twice? Fast forward today, and those same men keep walking. Why? Because every time a man steps in, there's a risk. Being called a creep, having motives questioned, or worse, getting humiliated for simply offering a hand. Men did wake up one day and decide to stop helping. Society taught them it's safer not to, and now we're seeing the consequences. Why would men even bother helping anymore? Women have made it clear they don't need us. They shout about independence. They claim they can do it all on their own, and society cheers them on. But the moment a man offers help, suddenly we're labeled toxic, controlling, or having bad intentions. The same people who once valued a man's presence now turn their noses up at it. And when we step back, they call us cold. You can't have it both ways. Women and society together have taken good men and pushed them away. A man can start out with genuine kindness, a willingness to protect and provide. But over time, constant accusations and false assumptions turn that kindness into indifference. We're tired of being made out to be the villain just for showing basic decency. Good men are not born distant. They're made that way by years of being mistreated, distrusted, and disrespected. And let's talk about the everyday interactions. We get called thirsty for simply saying hello. A friendly gesture is turned into an insult. Offering to carry something heavy or open a door is met with an eye roll or a sarcastic remark. We've been told, in no uncertain terms, that our help is not wanted. So why should we keep offering? At some point, a man learns to protect his peace and keep his distance. Women say they want equality, but what they really mean is they want equality until the bill comes or until something heavy needs lifting. Then, suddenly, men are expected to step up again. But here's the reality: we've been listening. We've heard you say you don't need men, and we believe you. You told us to stop interfering, so we did. Don't act shocked now that men are walking right past without offering help. Men are tired of the double standards, tired of being accused no matter what we do. If we help, we're controlling. If we don't help, we're heartless. The truth is, women have built this no-win situation for men, and now they're facing the results. We're not angry anymore. We're indifferent. And that's worse, because once a man stops caring, there's no coming back. Respect goes both ways. If you want men to step up, you need to stop tearing them down. You can't shame men for helping, and then shame them for not helping. You can't tell us we're unwanted, and then demand our attention when it suits you. We've stopped playing that game, and honestly, we don't miss it. You made the rules. Now we're just playing by them, looking past and not offering to help. People act like that's some big mystery. We've seen what happens when we do. I heard about a guy who offered to help a woman, and instead of a thank you, she yelled, "I have a boyfriend," like he was trying to hit on her just for being polite. That's what men are dealing with now. So, when you see us keep walking, don't act surprised. We're just avoiding the disrespect. And here's the thing. Why is it always expected that men should drop whatever they're doing to help everyone else? Do you think we're just wandering around with nothing better to do? Most of us are on our way somewhere with our own responsibilities, but we're still expected to be everyone's personal hero. Yet the moment we try, we risk being called a creep, a weirdo, or accused of having bad intentions. That's the thanks we get for trying to be decent. I've been in situations where I've stepped in to help, only to be talked down to like I was bothering them. That's the reality for men today. We were raised to be gentlemen, but being a gentleman now comes with a price. Your dignity, your reputation, and your peace of mind. So guess what? We're keeping our hands to ourselves and minding our business. Women said they could handle it on their own. So let them. Women fought for their independence, and men listened. You want to do it all yourself. You said you didn't need us, and society backed you up. But now, when men actually step back and let you be independent, Suddenly it's a problem. You can't have it both ways. You ask for freedom from men's involvement, and now you're upset because men aren't stepping in like before. That's not how this works. Men are tired of the double standards. If we help, we're accused of wanting something. If we don't help, we're labeled selfish or cold. Women built this environment with their words and attitudes, and now they're experiencing the results. We're not going to risk our respect, our time, and our peace just to be insulted for trying to do the right thing. Ladies, you're on your own. You made it clear you don't need men. So men have stopped stepping in. Don't look for chivalry when you've spent years mocking it. Don't complain about the absence of gentlemen when you've made it dangerous for men to act like one. You wanted independence. You got it. Now live with it.
I'm quite literally rolling around in horse shit, trying to get this bottom thing off my car. I don't want to talk about it. I'm gonna cry. I'm trying to get this off, and I need a screwdriver to take it off. And I just wish someone would pull over and help me, because I don't know what to do. Oh, someone just pulled over. No way. Thank you so much.
I gotta say it, guys. This woman's reaction is how most independent women would react. And I know I might get a lot of hate for saying it, but this proves men's points when they roll their eyes at women that say, I don't need no man. Because sure, when things are going well for you and you're not running into any issues, you're not stranded on the side of the road with your car falling apart. Of course, you can be a little overconfident in what you're capable of handling. But don't forget that one, the reason why your life is pretty easy is because of men. And two, the second your life becomes not so easy, guess who you're going to be hoping and praying is headed your way?
Modern women love to talk about how they don't need men until life proves them wrong. I saw it just the other day. A woman stranded on the side of the road. Car broke down, flat tire, standing there with tears in her eyes and fumbling through the trunk. And you know what? I kept driving. Because these are the same women who call men creepy for offering help, the same ones who wave us away with a no thank you and brag about being independent. Well, now what happened to all that strength? Where's the I don't need a man energy now? Men aren't falling for this act anymore. We've been called toxic just for trying to help, accused of having bad intentions when we step in, and told we're not needed. Then, suddenly, when the reality of life hits, they come running back expecting men to swoop in like nothing happened. Sorry, but that's not how it works. You can't spit in a man's face all year and expect him to offer you his hand when you stumble. For years, feminists have been screaming that women don't need men, that they're perfectly capable of doing everything themselves. Fine. We believed you. We respected your independence. But now, don't whine, don't cry, and don't expect the same men you insulted to risk their time and energy for you. You reap what you sow. You planted the seeds of arrogance, and now you're harvesting the cold indifference that comes with it. I can already hear the complaints. Men aren't gentlemen anymore. You made it dangerous for men to be gentlemen. We help and we're accused. We don't help and we're shamed. So we choose the option that protects our peace. We keep driving. We mind our business. And the truth is, we don't feel bad about it, because we've learned that no matter what we do, it will be twisted against us. This isn't spite. It's self-preservation. Men are tired of being treated like predators for extending basic courtesy. We've adapted to the world women asked for, the one where they stand on their own and handle everything without male involvement. So when you're stuck on the side of the road or struggling with a flat tire, remember, this is the world you demanded. Men are just respecting your wishes. So suck it up, Buttercup. Stop crying and own it. The strong, independent woman movement got exactly what it asked for. Men who no longer insert themselves into women's lives uninvited. You want equality. You wanted autonomy, and now you've got it. No chivalry, no rescue, no exceptions. We're driving past without looking back, because the message was loud and clear, you don't need us. And now you get to prove it.
Do you know what I actually can't believe? Yesterday I was on the tube coming home, and a drunk man got on the tube and sat he sat next to me originally and was chatting to some other people that had a dog. Oh my God, the bags under my eyes. And then they got off the tube and he was like looking at me and I was just ignoring him. I was just doing my own little thing. Then he moved and sat opposite me on the tube and then he was going, hello, hello. And I just looked at him and was like, I was like on my phone, but I like looked at him and he was like, you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And he was like, where are you from? You from Italy? And I was like, no. He was like, you from here? And I was like, no, because it was like London. I was like, no, somewhere else. He was like, oh, you're on holiday? I was like, no, just travelling. I was trying to be like just short and like get him to stop speaking to me. And then he was going like, oh, well, he had a beer in his hand and he kept spilling his beer everywhere. And I was just trying to ignore him. And he was like, are you married? And I was like, yeah, I'm married. Obviously not, but I was like, yeah, I'm married. He was like, oh, have you got children? I was like, no. He was like, oh, so you're single then? I was like, no, I'm married. And then he was like, how old are you? And I was like, oh, I'm 20. I was like, if I knock a few years off, maybe he'll leave me alone. As if that would make a difference. And he was like, oh, young. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, okay. Then he just kept like mumbling like Italian words because he thought I was Italian. And I was just like, on my phone, like, and he just would not stop. He was like going, high five me, shake my hand, all this. And then he was like, oh, bye-bye, I'm getting off now. Then he stood up and he was just still looking at me, like just standing there. And then he didn't get off. He sat back down and he was like, oh, not getting off yet, actually. And I was like, oh, okay. While this is going on, there's a bunch of men around me that were English because they were speaking English like a minute ago before he got on. And they were all just ignoring it. They were all just like leaving him to just literally harass me. And then notice like the last stop of the train is where I was getting off. And that's obviously where he was getting off because it was the last stop. So he was like, oh, okay, I'm getting off now. Obviously I hadn't realised it was the last stop. So I said, oh, bye. And I let him get off and I stayed on the tube for a bit just so that he could walk ahead. And like, again, no one said anything to me apart from one girl took her headphones out and she went, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm just like letting him walk ahead for a bit so like he doesn't speak to me anymore. And she was like, oh, I couldn't tell if he was bothering you or not. Like, I appreciate that the girl actually asked me if I was all right and everything, but like the men didn't do anything. Like, chivalry is dead, but also you couldn't tell he was bothering me. He was quite clearly bothering me. And then as we got off, she was like, I'll walk with you for a bit, but like I'm not leaving the station, I'm getting on another train, so I can't come outside with you. And I was like, oh, that's fine. Like, and then as we were walking, the guy had stopped and he like turned around and he saw me and he was like, oh, you, Italy. And I was just ignoring him and he was like, oi, are you ignoring me? Why are you ignoring me? And I was just like, I'm just going to keep ignoring him, just walking. He was going, oi. And then I was like, right, keys are in my hand right now. I had to walk to my car, and bear in mind, I had to get off at Ealing Broadway, which is like a scatty station, scatty area. So the route to my car was like literally a 2-minute walk. But because he was behind me, I didn't want him to follow me. So I actually went like a different route and started walking with a group of people so that I wasn't on my own, because the route to my car, I would have been walking on my own and it was dark. And then he wandered off somewhere else and I like literally like, not sprinted, but like speed walked to my car. But yeah, I was texting my mum as well at the time and I was like, why is nobody like helping me? They can quite clearly see that this man is bothering me. Why has no man stepped in to help? It really bothered me.
She said she can't believe men did nothing to help her, as if the entire male population exists just a step in whenever she's in trouble. Men have always been protectors, the stronger ones. But now, even among men, anyone who tries to help a stranger is mocked as a simp. And honestly, why should a man risk his safety for someone he doesn't even know, especially when that someone has spent years saying she doesn't need him? It's not our job to put our lives on the line because a stranger made poor choices that landed her in danger. The truth is, it's hard to know who even wants to be interacted with anymore. Feminists in modern society have pushed chivalry to the brink of extinction. Offer a hand, and you might get accused of harassment. Step in, and you're told you're overstepping. So men do the only logical thing. They mind their own business. There are still decent people out there, sure, but in today's world, especially in big cities, You cannot rely on the public to come rushing in to save you. Those days are gone. And the irony is thick. Women say they choose the bear over men, claim they don't need male protection, and in the same breath, call men evil. Then, when the bear actually shows up, they're suddenly wondering why no man is there to protect them. This isn't about equality anymore. It's about double standards. You can't push men away, demean them, and strip them of respect, then cry when they aren't there to save you. Weary over the lies, the manipulation, and the hypocrisy. You told us we were all equal, so we believed you. Equal means you carry your own weight, face your own dangers, and take responsibility for your own decisions. But somehow, the expectation remains that men should step in when it benefits you and disappear when it doesn't. That's not equality, that's entitlement. And men are done feeding into it. And let's call it like it is. Feminism, as it was meant to be, isn't even the problem. Real feminism is about equality. But what we have today is a capitalist machine feeding the egos of women while erasing any sense of accountability. It's about selling the idea that women can do no wrong and men are inherently the enemy. That's not empowerment, that's division. And it's worked because now men have stepped back completely. So, here's the bottom line. Women created this environment. You made it unsafe for men to be chivalrous. You mocked those who try to help. And you preached independence until it was convenient to play the damsel in distress again. Don't be shocked when men don't come running. You reap what you sow. And the reality is, you've sown a world where men no longer risk themselves for strangers who have made it clear they don't want them around.
I'm here to say one more thing.
Oh, goody.
I just had to drag my AC out of my car to my apartment building. 3 guys passed me. None of them offered to help.
Why should they? Women are strong and independent. They can do everything on their own.
None. 0 out of 3. Why? 'Cause you couldn't lift it? You were too scared to lift it? Is that why? Am I intimidating? Am I more masculine than you?
No, that's not what it is at all. But let's take a moment to think about how many women, thousands upon thousands of women, are saying every single day that in fact they don't need men. They don't need them at all. In fact, they're saying sometimes that the world would be better off without men. But apparently, some women still need men for grunt work. I should think that they would be grateful that men are finally listening to their wishes, ideas, and their feelings. But apparently not when it comes to lifting heavy objects.
She said she had to carry her AC unit from her car to her apartment building. And 3 men walked right past without offering to help. And my first thought was, why should they? These are the same independent women who keep telling the world it would be better off without men. The same women who boast about being strong enough to handle everything on their own. But suddenly, when there's a heavy object to move, men are supposed to appear out of nowhere like unpaid movers. You can't push men away in one breath and demand their help in the next. Men have learned to protect themselves, not just physically, but legally and socially. If a guy were to help her carry that AC to her apartment, there's always a risk that she could twist the story and accuse him of something he never did. We live in a world where one false accusation could destroy a man's life, and too many women have weaponized that reality. No man in his right mind wants to gamble his reputation for a stranger who has already made it clear she doesn't respect men. It's also about how help is received. Many men have learned that offering to help might be taken as an insult, like we're suggesting she can't do it herself. Some even act like it's creepy. And when men do help, they often get hit with nitpicking. Don't drop it. Be careful. That's not how you hold it. At that point, most men would rather keep walking and let the strong, independent woman handle it. Gratitude has all but disappeared. You hold the door open for someone, and they can't even bother to say thank you. If a small gesture like that goes unacknowledged, there's no reason to believe lugging a heavy AC up a flight of stairs would be any different. Respect and appreciation used to be part of the deal. Now they're treated like optional extras. This is a double standard modern men are tired of. Women demand equality when it suits them, but still expect men to swoop in when the task is tough. Independence was a goal, and men heard it loud and clear. Now, when men step back, they get accused of being cold or unhelpful, when in reality they're simply following the rules women set. Don't expect the very men you've insulted, dismissed, and accused to suddenly jump in and make your life easier. You said you don't need men, so men are giving you exactly what you asked for. If carrying that AC is too much, maybe call the bear you said you'd rather have than a man. Men are done playing a hero in a story where they're always cast as the villain. And that's the reality, gentlemen. When someone tells you over and over that you're not needed, believe them. Men aren't cold. We're just done putting ourselves in situations where we're unappreciated, disrespected, or put at risk. Ladies wanted independence, and now they have it. No more guilt trips. No more double standards. You wanted to do it on your own. Now you get to prove it.